Welcome to the Joy Business Report. Coming up this morning, cedi to remain stable against the US dollar in the near term following the upgrade in Ghana's rating by Fitch. Also, Domestic Service Workers Union pushes government to adopt ILO Regulation 189. We'll tell you what's in there. And a new report by the Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research shows the average expenditure of a tourist that visited Ghana in 2022 reached more than $2,700. Details coming up. Thanks for joining us. Hello to our friends listening from Kof Radio and KTU Radio. My name is Daryl Kwao. Apologies. Now, the Ghana cedi will remain stable against the US dollar in the near term as the upgrade in Ghana's rating by Fitch Ratings is expected to positively impact sentiments around the city. The local currency remained stable to the American greenback and other major foreign currencies last week. Here's more in this Business Desk analysis.
Following the successful conclusion of the domestic debt exchange program, Fitch upgraded Ghana's long-term local currency issuer default rating from restrictive default to CCC. The rating agency also maintained a stable outlook on the local currency IDR and expects that a successful external debt restructuring with a resultant disbursement from the International Monetary Fund will enhance Ghana's fiscal position. This will consequently strengthen the value of the cedi. Last week, the local unit remained fairly stable to the dollar in the retail market, starting the week's trade at a mid-rate of 12 cedis to a dollar. The Bank of Ghana provided some foreign exchange on the spot market. Meanwhile, the cedi has lost about 11.7% against the dollar in the retail market and about 22% on the interbank market.
And that was a Business Desk report on the currency market this morning. The dollar going for 12 cedis 1 peso. That's on the Forex or retail market. The pound going for 14 cedis 60 pesos. The euro trading at 12 cedis 60 pesos. A senior finance lecturer at the University of Ghana Business School, Dr. Benjamin Amoah, has joined calls for the review of the electronic transaction levy rather than an outright cancellation in the 2024 budget. He contends it is premature to abolish the policy as it could have serious implications on some policies linked to it, such as the YouStart program. Dr. Amoah's comment follows a research by the Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research, which indicates that about 1 million mobile money accounts were inactive after the implementation of the e-levy in May 2022.
The government introduced the e-levy because the government was considering getting the informal sector to contribute to the tax net that we have. That is appearing not to have materialized, looking at the numbers that we are seeing or the amount that has mobilized from the electronic levy. Again, we shouldn't forget that the government made some promises based on the usage for the e-levy. The question is this: if the government abolishes the e-levy, what will happen to the initiatives that were hinged on the e-levy? Until the government convinces itself that it will have other sorts of funding to meet these initiatives, it's extremely difficult for one to say that abolish it. If not, the success of such programs will also come under question.
Dr. Benjamin Amoah, a senior finance lecturer at the University of Ghana Business School. The average expenditure of a tourist who visited Ghana last year reached more than $2,700. George Affe has more from the 2023 Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research State of Ghana report.
A report showed that the new expenditure has been influenced by several promotions by government from 2019. That is the year of return. Beyond the return program in 2020. These initiatives, as well as other campaigns, have gone a long way to encourage more tourists to visit Ghana from the U.S., as well as Ghanaians in the diaspora. This expenditure was even realized when there were some partial restrictions as part of the COVID-19 measures introduced by government. Therefore, there are projections of the expenditure could pick up strongly for this year. Data from the Ministry of Transport suggests that passenger arrivals at the Kotoka International Airport have reached above pre-pandemic levels, hitting more than 1 million visits ending July this year. But ISE in the report was quick to add that increased inflation rates, depreciation of the Ghana cedi is badly affecting domestic tourism. It also adds that the implementation of a long-term tourism plan is very important that will go a long way to develop the sector.
Jojo Afe with that report. The Domestic Service Workers Union in Ghana is advocating the speedy adoption of an International Labour Organization Convention 189, which sets out specific rights and protection for domestic workers. Now, according to the union, Ghana's inability to ratify the convention is leading to abuse of the rights of domestic workers. Chairperson Eva Atapa has been speaking to journalists after a 3-day workshop to create awareness on the convention in Accra.
It talks about our rights. We need to have our rights because as domestic workers, we are not slaves, we are human beings. As you dress up and go to work, we are also in your house taking care of your children and your food. So you have to treat us. That's why the Convention 189 for decent work for domestic workers. And why should government rectify it? Is that because the convention is not ratified, they treat us anyhow.
You had Eva Atapa, the chairperson of the Domestic Service Workers Union in Ghana. The Ministry of Communications and Digitalization says government is on course to ratify the Ghana Digital Economic Policy. The policy, according to the Deputy Minister, Amapuma Boateng, is to digitize fiscal revenue collection, support cashless society, and improve online education delivery. She was speaking at the launch of the 3rd edition of the Ghana Digital Innovation Week.
The digital revolution is not merely about adopting new gadgets. It is about transforming industries, governance, and society itself. Through technology, we enhance efficiency, empower our citizens, and connect with the world. That is why we have developed the Ghana Digital Economic Policy, which is to be laid before Cabinet for approval. This policy is building upon the foundations laid by the ICT for Accelerated Development Policy that was developed in 2003.
Amapuma Boateng is Deputy Minister of Communications and Digitalization. The Food Research Institute of the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, in partnership with ECOWAS, has trained 38 small and medium enterprises in food processing to reduce post-harvest losses and ensure that perishable foods are available all year round. Director of Food Research Institute, Professor Charles Torto, indicated that organizing more workshops to train businesses on the importance of value addition and business development will help reduce the rate of unemployment. He spoke to Joy Business after a workshop.
You will notice that in the glad seasons, there are so many crops that are going waste. So this value addition, this processing is going to add value to those crops. And then by adding value, we're going to save it and make the food available throughout the season. So this training for our youth is so important. In addition to addressing the challenge of youth unemployment, it's also addressing the high post-harvest losses on our crops that we are experiencing in the country.
Director of the Food Research Institute, Professor Charles Torto. Now, General Manager of GB Foods Ghana, David Aflu, has indicated that his outfit has put plans in place to increase sourcing of inputs such as tomatoes locally to reduce importation of products. According to him, this is not only aimed at increasing and improving the quality of products, but also impacting the communities the company operates in through job creation for the youth. He was speaking at the company's 50th anniversary celebration.
So in Ghana, we manufacture 100% of our tomato mix in Ghana. We have said publicly that we are committed to backward integration in Ghana. That is growing our own tomatoes in Ghana to use for the manufacture of our products. But these things take time. You need to have conversations with stakeholders, government, and all of that. And these conversations are currently taking place. But we are not even waiting. We are currently even starting with a pilot program.
David Aflu, the General Manager of GB Foods Ghana. Shikanek Auto Hub and Toyota Ghana have organized a workshop to equip women and the public on new technologies associated with some of Toyota's vehicles. Now, according to Shikanek, it is critical for women to know the basics of car maintenance and emerging technologies. Here is Marketing Manager Nana Efwa Sewa Eduse.
This workshop is to train young ladies and men about the basics of vehicle maintenance. Basics, very basic. So instead of being vulnerable on the highway, young lady, you know how to change your tires yourself. That is good. Gentlemen, if you know why you have to use coolant instead of water, that is good. So this is just to share knowledge. But knowledge is power. knowing how to do it yourself, I mean, it gives you an idea. So if Bra Kwame or Mr. Apia is telling you something, you know that, oh, that's what he's saying is true or not. So knowledge is power.
That was actually the chief executive of Shikanek Auto Hub, Nane Fuasewa Eduse. Now, on Investor Eye today, if you suspect an investment arrangement to be a fraud, never go ahead to engage the company. Don't also